So when it comes down to presence and time, there's really two things that most all of us struggle with. There's really two kind of mindsets that fall into this. And so the first one are the people that kind of have the mindset that I've got all the time in the world. That's the mentality that, I can start on that project tomorrow. I can look for that new thing, that new job a week from now. I can start working out in a month. We have this mindset that I can do something at a later date. And one of my favorite quotes by Buddha is, the problem most people have with regards to time is that they think they have it. None of us are guaranteed any more time than the actual present moment we have right now. So having that mindset that I've got all the time in the world can be something that sabotages our potential. So just be aware of that if you're a person that thinks that way, and we're going to give you some tools and techniques to kind of overcome that mentality, because the only time we actually all have is really right now in this present moment. And so we're going to teach you how to live and exist in that present moment. The second problem with time, the other camp of people, are the ones that feel like they don't have any time at all. And so those are the ones that run around constantly looking, feeling, talking like they're busy. I got to get this done. I'm so busy. I don't have any time. So that mindset is not good. That busyness makes us feel anxious, or it makes us feel inefficient. So people that do have the ability to be present, if you see them and know them or start to become one, you'll see that they never look busy. They never say, I'm so busy. That's 3 words I'd like you to really be cognizant of not saying anymore. It doesn't mean you can't be efficient. It doesn't mean you can't get stuff done, but really try to not say, I'm so busy anymore. Get rid of that, because it does give us a feeling of anxiety, a feeling of there's some sense of hurry. Presence, it really comes down to those two things with regards to time. Thinking you've got all the time in the world, or feeling like you don't have any. So now I want to talk to you about a couple other challenges we have with time, or the perception of time, and how it pulls us out of the present moment and causes us to really struggle with whatever it is we're trying to accomplish today or in life. So one of the things that all of us do, and I do this too, I can catch myself doing it. The most important thing is I know how to catch myself doing it, but we time travel in our minds. And so I want to talk to you about what's going on when we do that and why it's detrimental to what we're trying to accomplish. Time traveling in our mind just means that wherever we are, we're sitting and we're trying to do something in front of us, but in our minds, we're thinking about the future or we're worrying about the past. And so in our minds, as we fluctuate between future and past, it pulls us out of the present moment. And we have a tendency to do that, to think negatively. And that makes us anxious in the moment, state anxiety. So your brain doesn't know that I'm perceiving something as a threat a week from now or 2 months from now. All my brain and body knows that I'm threatened right now. So again, that sympathetic nervous system engages and all those hormones start going down, and it makes us feel anxious. So what also happens with regards to time traveling is we start to travel backwards into the past. And that's what makes us feel depressed, because what happens when we go backwards is we start thinking about the things that we didn't do or should have done or could have done, or we screwed up or messed up or whatever the case is. And so I'm in this moment, but mentally I'm going way out into the future and thinking negatively, and it's making me anxious in this present moment. I'm also going backwards and I'm thinking about what I didn't do or shouldn't have done, and you're just on this kind of roller coaster, and it makes you in the moment far from present because you're anxious and depressed. And so the first thing we want to understand is that we all do that. Our brains are designed to think. And I tell people all the time, they'll ask me, so am I just not supposed to think about the future? And I'm like, no, think about the future. Try not to worry about it. That's the difference. So with regards to this time traveling, what is happening is if I start to travel into the future and I am catastrophizing it, it makes me anxious in the moment. So I've just got some anxiety in this moment. And if I go backwards, it makes me depressed in this moment. So it just means I might be anxious or depressed right now. But we can get out of that with this training. So if we can't get this time traveling under control, what happens is a couple things. Basically, we sabotage ourselves. So if we're thinking ahead and worrying, we're time traveling ahead a day, a week, or a month, and we're catastrophizing it, what's going on mentally, if you think back to the neural network and the STIA process, is if I'm having these thoughts that I'm going to mess that thing up, I'm not going to get that promotion, I'm going to flunk that test, or whatever it is we're thinking, your brain doesn't know that you're thinking about something in the future. It only knows the right now. So it's in the process of forming those neural connections to try to make that thing happen. So essentially what you're doing by time traveling and catastrophizing it is speaking it into existence. It's becoming kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You've probably heard those terms, but that's what's happening through this process if we don't get that time traveling under control. You're increasing the probability that you're going to self-sabotage your future self. And so just understand that, so we have awareness of when we do time travel and we're using thought-stopping techniques, we're using breathing techniques, we're using the things that you're learning to bring yourself back to the moment and in a positive mindset. So time traveling forward sabotages our future self. When we time travel backwards and we start beating ourselves up for things that we didn't do right or I didn't do well, that sabotages our current self. Because that literally is what is making us in the moment feel like we're not good enough or we can't do what we want to do, and so you're distracted, you're not present. So that time traveling really affects us in the present moment in a multitude of ways. So it's just about understanding when we do it, because you will do it, and this training and these skills are going to help you have more attention and awareness of when you're doing it, and then being able to bring yourself back softly and gently. And the more you practice this, the less you will time travel and the faster you'll be able to bring yourself back into the present moment. So we just got done talking about the awareness piece of how hard it is to be present and how time traveling can affect us. Now let's go do the application piece where we can learn how to fix both.